This week's topic is discipline over motivation. And Jackie and I brainstorm back and forth for ideas, and then we create just like a document to help guide us along and keep us on topic. So I'm just going to share that in here. Anybody who wants to jump in can. Some people raise their hands if we're mid chatting. Otherwise, feel free to just hop in if you have something to share about the topic. We love discussing things.
I really like tonight's
Okay,
topic. We're
me
talking about
too.
discipline over motivation. And just one little thing that I saw that I definitely want to say to you guys that if anything sticks to you, I hope it's this. But motivation is a mood and discipline is a decision. I'll say that again. Motivation is a mood and discipline is a decision. And I know for me personally, I've been very focused on my health and fitness lately. That's been a big priority for me because I think that prioritizing that really feeds into everything else. So even though a lot of us are in the entrepreneur space or we work for ourselves or whatever the case may be, taking care of your body really feeds into the other, like the financial side of things as well. And I know for me, perfect example is there was this workout video that I wanted to start. It's called 21 Day Fix. So it's a quick 21 days. And I had started it. I've completed it before. So this is my second go around at it. And I did the first week, I did like the first 3 days and I stopped. And then the next week happened and I was like, okay, I'm going to start over. I'll start fresh. And I think I only did like the first day and I missed the next few days and I was like, okay, I just need to start over. And it was something about like one of the videos, literally the girl started the video by saying, if you don't want to keep starting over, don't give up. And so when I started that my third time, I've been consistent with it. I'm on my third week this week. But it really is like this topic was exactly what I was going through because I didn't have the motivation to do it at the time but I just wasn't being disciplined with it. And now here I am at the end of it where it really is just a decision of okay, I want to do this. I just need to do it and get it done. And I feel so much better after doing that. Yeah, that's my little story that I'll share
I
with you
love it.
guys, personal story.
I love it. And it's you just didn't give up, right? You weren't just like, I'm obviously not able to complete this, so it's not for me or whatever. You're like, no, there's a way I can do this. There's something I'm missing that I can just keep at it and make it part of my non-negotiables. What's up,
Yeah.
Meg?
Yeah, as I'm washing dishes here, I want to chime in. I kept restarting my 75 hard because I got re-addicted to Mountain Dew. It's horrible. And I went 5 days after I got back from Squat Up. I started what was it, the Wednesday after, and no pop, no desserts, like strict health plan, whatever, doing the workout like 45 minutes in the morning and at least giving 45 minutes and doing the other one outside, which I was walking and reading 10 pages a day. So I'm really getting through this book that I've been trying to read and then drinking a gallon of water, which helped because I replaced my Mountain Dew with that. And then I went to a real estate meetup in Des Moines on Tuesday this last week, and my throat got parched. And then I noticed they have Pepsi products. I'm like, what? They converted from Coke to Pepsi? Come on. Of course, when I give up Mountain Dew, now they have Mountain Dew. Anyways, so then, of course, at meetups, you network, you talk. And I'm really coughing because I'm like, my throat is drying out because I don't know. But I gave in. I got 2 Mountain Dews, and then I was like, they tasted weird and everything. I'm like, nah, tomorrow would be easy. I'll restart tomorrow. Now I'm addicted again. I'm like, gosh, so every day it's okay. Day one, round 8. Day one, round 9, because at least I'm doing the other stuff. But I'm like, yeah, like you said, I just need to get it done and over with. And then I got friends' birthday parties coming up. Like, you're not even gonna have my cake at my birthday. I'm like, the heck, make me sound like evil and everything. Come
It,
on.
it's
Jackie
crazy
dealt with
how
that when she didn't have Thanksgiving.
I just dealt with that. I went to a baby shower on Sunday and we were leaving early and they're like, "Wait, you can't leave. We're gonna do the cake." And I was like, "I can't have the cake." And people get offended, but I think you just have to know your boundaries, know what you're working towards, and like we've talked about this before. You don't feel bad about the boundaries that you're setting. Like other people just don't understand what you're working towards, only you do. And so if you know what you want, you just have to get after it, because the only one who's really going to see or appreciate the consistency is you. People always notice it at the end, because I've had friends, I've done 75 hard too in the middle of people's birthdays and whatever, and they're always like, what about me? What do we? And it's, hey, this one isn't about you. I'm
Yeah.
prioritizing myself first.
I have two
Yeah.
questions for Miss Magnificent over there. Did you say that you screwed up and you started over? Is that what you said?
Like every day, I'm like,
That's
okay,
the
this is day
rule of
8,
75
or
hard,
this is
right?
day 1, round 8. Yeah, once you screw
Yeah, you have
up,
to start
So
over.
you did start over though, right?
yeah,
That would
I'm
tell you,
starting
okay.
over every day.
No, I just gotta say
So
that
now-
I think that's still big. I still think that takes discipline. Because me, I
I
would have been
agree.
like, I'm gonna act like nobody knew I had that Mountain Dew. And I'd be
Terrible.
cheating myself. So I
true.
respect that you said you started over, because I was not started over, I'm telling you right now.
That's
Mhm.
hilarious.
So I really
Mhm.
like that you did that. I think that's a
I
huge
think it's
step of
so funny that
discipline.
you were thirsty and so you had soda instead of water.
I feel
That
weird
cracks me
when
up.
they
Your
give you
body's
water, it's
literally,
ice.
You don't
I need
understand.
water. And you're
They
like,
changed the
I got
machine.
sugar water for
They
you. Don't
changed
worry.
their machine.
Yeah, because sugar moves the throat, and it's funny. I don't like water in restaurants because my throat. Believe me, and I'll try to ask for no ice, and it's still cold water where I'll cough on it. I drink lukewarm water. I like room temp, lukewarm, even hot water. I don't care, but I can't have ice in it. And even like a fruit smoothie, if they have ice in it, I'll actually cough. And people will wonder if I'm choking on my smoothie. I'm like, no, it's because I don't know. I have this reaction with my throat with cold. I won't have it with cold pop for some dumb reason. But with anything
Logical.
else, like water and smoothies,
How
That's
shocking.
hilarious.
yeah,
That
I'm
might be a
weird.
mind thing you got to look
It's
into.
definitely psychological. You've talked yourself into this.
And the boundary thing is huge too. Huge.
Yes.
Agreed.
I went to over the weekend last weekend. Jackie knows, I surprised my mom for her 55th birthday. I was not supposed to be drinking. Granted, her gathering was at a winery. I'm like, this is great. Am I supposed to do this? I love wine. So I almost got through it. And then we're going to go take pictures and everyone's like, grab your glasses, grab your cups. I'm like, are you going to grab your stuff? My cousin's like, where's yours? I'm like, no, I'm not really drinking. He's like, the hell you are.
Oh my gosh.
He grabbed the cup so quickly and filled it up, double the portion of a freaking. I was like, oh my God. And I caved. I caved. I was like, you know what? You're right. So my discipline lacked.
Sunday, me and my friends went to the Renaissance Festival, and they wanted margaritas. We wanted Mexican, but we went to a Mexican restaurant, and they were gonna order margaritas because we were there. No, I got Coca-Cola, but yeah, and I got water with it. And they decided to get water because they saw me not drinking, and they were like, you know what? We're not gonna drink, because it's weird if not everybody's drinking. But once that person gets a drink, they're like, oh, okay, she's drinking, I'm drinking. I have to set that standard almost.
It's crazy how
Yeah,
society's wired.
society is so messed up. And I feel like sometimes we feel like we have to like, remove ourselves from all the temptation, but I don't feel like that's really like testing your discipline. Like, just avoiding people who drink or avoiding places that have soda like isn't really going to help you. I've made a promise to myself, and no matter what, we're not doing that. We're not having that. We're not drinking that. I
Yeah.
haven't. It's one of those skills that once you start doing it, I don't know, it's weirdly addicting to just be like, no, I'm not doing that. And I don't care how hard you push. I will not be having a drink. I will not, you know
You
what I mean? Like, I
know,
just don't
it's
care
it's funny because I feel if what you're doing and why you're doing it, it's not even a second thought, because
at
like
all.
for Ray and I, we've been prioritizing whole foods, and we're really looking at the ingredients that we're putting into our bodies, staying away from anything artificial, natural flavors, whatever. And we hang out with people and they'll be like, oh yeah, you want some chips or you want whatever? And I'm like, no, I'm good. Or no, I can't have that. And recently, one of my friend's wives, she saw me say no to something. She's, man, you have the craziest discipline. And it's so funny because I was like, I didn't even think about it. In that situation, to me, it didn't feel, because I don't want that stuff. That's not, I already know in my head, like that's not what I'm eating. So it's not even like a temptation for me. So yeah, I think if you know what you're doing and why you're doing it, it makes it a little bit easier to be disciplined because it's just second nature.
Try to be
And if you have
disciplined
a
about
solid why,
trying to be disciplined around those people that you're normally around. Like she said, is hard too.
Oh yeah.
Like avoiding to hang out with certain people because they want to go drink. And if I'm not drinking, so can we do
Especially if
something
they know
else?
you when you were drinking. then
Yeah,
it's
and that's exactly. So it's like now, do we have anything else we can do together? No, then maybe we should go our own separate ways. And the same thing for you when you're eating. It's funny because we know what we're talking about when we say there's a lot of people who are make jokes about how you're eating and how you're being healthy. And it's like they're literally making jokes while they're stuffing donuts down their throat. Okay, go right
Well,
ahead.
so exactly. And that's the way that you have to reframe it is they don't want what's best for you. They want to feel comfortable that you do the same shit they do. Like
Yep.
when I stopped drinking, these people didn't want anything other than for them to not feel bad that they were drinking. Or they thought that they were going to be the ones that were weird that because they're being loud and obnoxious and like now you're going to judge them. And it's like, I'm so not that person. I have never been like a heavy drinker. I was always designated driver. Like I always am the one that can have a great time drinking or not. Like I do not care. But for them, it's because they don't want you to look at them differently. They want you to be in the same space that they are, eating the same crap, not doing whatever. Like they just want that same relatability in whatever comfort that they're in. And once you know why you're not doing what they're doing, I literally don't care what you have to say. Keep at it. I'm very solid in what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And so it doesn't get to you like it used to once you have a solid why. And they don't need to know what it is. It's none of their business.
That's how you said you don't judge. I do.
Oh, see,
I
I
don't
literally
judge.
don't
No, I
care.
don't
Live your
judge.
best life.
I don't judge.
Like,
But it was funny because I went the one day to downtown Orlando not drinking and try to be on a Friday night or Saturday night out there when you're
oh,
out there.
wild.
Yeah, I don't go out there anymore. Yeah, I went with my friend for whatever reason. And then I'm just like, I'm not judging people, but looking around, holy crap. Like when you're sober and you see how people are acting, not even just your people, but just out there in the street and the bars and the strangers and people you don't know, or even your own friends, loud, obnoxious, crazy. Holy shit, is this what we're like?
Yes.
And the
Yeah.
unfortunate thing is, I don't know about you guys, but when you get to the other side and you can see it from a different perspective and you look at like you were there, right? You were living those things but there for you, at least for me, it was like an escape. Like you're like, oh, I didn't have to think about work, so I'm just gonna go get wasted or whatever. That is typically the majority mentality in those activities, but we're past that. The majority of us on this call, I don't want to assume for everybody, but it you get to a point where you start to realize there's different ways to decompress or to relieve stress, or there's different things that
I
you
don't
can
have anything to
explore.
escape.
Yeah.
Once you start like building your own life, I don't have anything to escape. I'm not running from anything. I'm not saying I don't do things for fun to stop working so darn hard, but I like what I do. So it's really I just need to go clear my mind. I need to go do something other than stare at a computer or whatever it is that I'm working on. It's not because I need to run away from it. And yeah, that's once again, once you recognize what your why is and what you're disciplined for, discipline just, I feel, is a negative word or it has a negative connotation. I don't think it's a negative word, but I think people assume that it's like some sort of a punishment or something, when in reality, if you just change it to a promise that you're upholding to yourself, it feels differently. And so it doesn't have to be this like I'm withholding or I'm under some sort of regime. It's no, I've made a promise to myself, and if no one's gonna do it for me. Yeah, exactly. Self-integrity. Yeah. If I can't hold the promises to myself, who am I going to hold them to? And so if I tell myself that I'm going to get something done by a specific time, I'm going to get it done. If I say I'm not having XYZ, then I'm not going to have XYZ. And I don't expect anyone else to do that for me. So I got to do it for yourself. And again, if you have that strong why, if you're not drinking because it doesn't take whatever it is, like you've got to give yourself a strong why and tie it to something that you're building, something that you're helping your future self not have issues later. Cause I don't want to get on the alcohol train, but it's so bad for you.
Yep.
It's so
I
bad
ain't
for you.
stop.
It's
Yeah.
absurd, like long-term bad for you.
It never feels
Um,
good the next day either. It doesn't even.
Right. And it gets worse the older you get. I
Yeah.
don't,
It wasn't too bad when I was like 21.
yeah, sure.
Now, like
Well,
35, I'm down for a week.
I have a funny
Ugh.
story because what was it? February. One of my friends had a sobriety party. They were celebrating I don't know how many years of being sober, 5 years or something like that, which is good.
Awesome.
But they had it at a place where you order drinks. It was a bar, and they had drinking games. And they were promoting this business they were in, like, take a picture of this and tag me on Instagram. Take a picture of this, and whoever could fill their bingo card of all these to do. Some of them included take a picture of you taking a shot, take a picture of you taking a drink, and you know
It
what?
seems
It
very
didn't specify
conflicting.
alcohol, so I was like, me and this gal were like, we don't drink. We're like, we're trying not to drink because we have to drive right after. We're like, we're only gonna be here for an hour. We don't want to take a shot and a drink and then go drive. So we asked the bartender, hey, can we get shots of water? And she looks at us like, what? She's never been asked that. Yeah, but we're just doing this for a picture. We have to take shots. So shots of water. They don't know. We're like, so we took pictures of shots of water. And we ordered like Shirley Temple type drinks. They look like alcohol, but I was like, nobody needs to know. So
I love a
yeah.
mocktail.
Yeah.
I'm learning to
They
love
make
them.
damn good mocktails these days.
Yeah,
I had this
honestly,
like grapefruit Paloma the other day that I was like, who needs tequila? This
I
is
definitely think
delightful.
it's getting more popularized, the mocktails and stuff, which is a good thing.
I like how you started the conversation though, Jackie. The discipline is, you said, is a decision, and the motivation is the mood. So it's
Hmm.
like you have to go hand in order to make it happen.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes too, you really have to assess what it is that you're trying to discipline, because if you're struggling to make the discipline, like there's a reason for that. And so looking at it, because I know if you compare things of what you, at least for me, like the perfect example is what I'm living through right now of the whole food situation and like the working out. Like it was a literal switch for me because I'm doing it because I want to better myself in preparations for having a baby. That's something I'm working towards for this year. So like when my why is so great that I don't have to think twice about being disciplined, but versus doing something, let's say work related. And obviously, if you're working for yourself and there's different things that you have to get done within your business, there's certain things that you like better than others. And sometimes you have to evaluate too, would this just make more sense for me to outsource to somebody else? Because if you don't have the discipline to get something done, or maybe even if it's the time or whatever, like you really do have to analyze the thing that you're trying to discipline because yeah, there's no point in beating a dead horse on something that like aren't your skills or it's not what you should be
Right.
focused on.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. And like you said, it makes such a difference in knowing your why and then deciding if it's something that you want to keep fighting yourself over. Because at the end of the day, you want success. And so if it's the 75 hard where you're succeeding at everything but this one thing, then maybe you're no longer participating in 75 hard and you're going to rock out on whatever else that you are doing a good job at and get that repetition in and get that success in and get that like positive reinforcement that I can keep promises to myself. And once I get this down, then I'm going to attack this one thing that's super duper, like just the toughest thing for me to accomplish. But you got to give yourself that repetition, that you got to develop the skill of being able to follow through on the things that you were going to do enough times to where you're like, I can do anything. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter what it is. But what happens is a lot of times people get fed up with their life and they're like, I'm changing everything. And you're like, whoa, that's a
It's a
big
lot.
undertaking. That's a big undertaking. Let's chop it up and see if you can change one thing before you decide to change everything.
But even going to your key points in the document, yes, the discipline builds self-trust. And it's
Hmm.
like those, you hear people like you should compare it to you putting a deposit into your own self-confidence bank because the more times that you execute on the things that you say you're going to do, the more your body sees, okay, this is, or your mind is like seeing that this is, I can trust myself. My word means something. When I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to get it done. And that
Hmm.
can be as small as like anything. Like really, I think that's another thing too, is when the motivation isn't there, you can find those little things that still keep you disciplined or aligned into what you're trying to do. There's always a balance too, because not, yes, exactly, Shirag, the little wins add up because not every day is going to feel great. There different things pop
Hmm.
up, situations you didn't foresee coming. and still being able to persevere, even if you have to dial it down differently. It's still consistency.
And it also depends on what standard you've set for yourself, right? If you're someone who, let's take smoking, for example. If you're someone who smokes a lot and you're like, I'm going to quit smoking this year, that's a huge undertaking, to where if you're like, okay, I'm going to cut out a pack a week or whatever and just start cutting it back. Or somebody who's drinking a lot, I'm not going to drink 3 days of the week. I'm only going to drink 1 day of the week. And if you're able to accomplish that, all of a sudden you're going to be able to make bigger changes and really get to where you're trying to go. But if you keep failing, you're just going to keep reiterating that you're a failure, that you don't know how to do this, that you're not capable, that you aren't able to finish. And your ego, which is the thing that's trying to keep you in your comfort zone, is going to keep winning. And so you want to have those, you want to train that muscle to be like, no, I don't listen to you just because you come up with something and some reason that I shouldn't have to do this, or maybe we'll start tomorrow or whatever. Make one small change to where you overcome that voice in your head enough times to where it gets quieter, because it knows it's not going to win every single time it tries to convince you to self-sabotage.
That was good. Yeah, does anyone else have anything that, oh, I see Raul. No, was that a joke?
Sorry, did I accidentally mute myself?
You
Yeah.
did,
Yeah,
but
I do
now
have
you're
something
live, so you
related
might
to
as well.
yeah. I actually did have something related to this though. Like
Yeah.
a long time ago, I want to say it was like senior year of high school, I like cut out like my like processed sugars and stuff from my diet because my teacher told us about what it does to your body. And I was like, oh
Wow.
shit.
Good
And I was
teacher.
like, that stuck with
Education
me.
right there.
And so I cut that out. But then a little while ago, when I was working, I would notice every now and then I would just rant, and it became a daily thing where I was like eating stuff with like highly processed sugars and high fructose corn syrup, all that stuff. And I was like, I was doing it for a while, and I noticed it affecting my energy levels a little bit. And I was like, why do I keep doing this? And then I noticed that every time I got a task put on my plate that I was like, ugh, and I wanted to not do it, I would just go downstairs and grab a snack and then eat it or eat whatever thing. And so I noticed I was doing that. So then I was like, oh, okay. So then each time I got something, I would try to either replace it with another type of snack or just leave my desk for a little bit and do something else and then go back. So a lot of things will trigger you to do those kind of.
Yeah. That
Look at you for
self-awareness is
catching that.
huge, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Kudos. Step number one, self-awareness, catching that pattern.
I see you, Shirag.
Hey, what's up, Jack? What's up, Monica? How you doing?
What's up?
Good.
Good.
I
Long
know it's
time
been
no
a little
see.
while. I know. I've been working on my discipline.
It.
So I know most.
Welcome. Perfect day to come back, huh?
That's what I saw. I was like, over the last. So I've been listening to everybody here. I think not many else, no, except for Raul will know me. But my name is Shirag Patel. I'm out in Zephyr Hills, Florida. I met Jackie when I first joined Sub 2, and I've gone through my own share of ups and downs talking about alcohol. I was an alcoholic. I had a mental break because of alcohol. And that was one of the biggest things that I went through. I'm actually openly talking about this because we're approaching mental health. My sister and I were approaching mental health in a whole different way and attaching it to all the things that we do in real estate, in education, business acquisitions. All these things are relating to mental health. So we found that path. But going back to discipline, over the last 3 weeks, I realized that I've been listening to Brian Tracy, a handful of different speakers, and it's all about consistent little systems. So I started with the 100-hour fast. I did a water and salt fast for 100 hours. I dropped 11 pounds. And then I realized that was my discipline jumpstart, because I was like, I was making dinner. I was going to the supermarket. I was at a burger joint with my friends, but I was purposely putting myself out there, because if I could say no while I was there, then I could say no anywhere. And that's same thing with alcohol. Like, even though I went through an extremely difficult time with alcohol, like, I can make drinks, not have a sip. I can buy alcohol for my wife, let her drink. So those were all little discipline, I guess, bite-sized
Yes.
discipline components that added up to now I'm back to before. The those that don't know me, I was sleeping 2 to 4 hours a day. I was starting a new company, I was like hardwired, and it was really detrimental to my health. I didn't realize it because it started kicking in later, mood swings, things like that. So now I sleep 6+ hours a day. I'm up at 5 a.m. I go to the gym. And it comes down to my why. My mental health, all these components help my mental health be extremely balanced. And I'm in the most healthiest mental, physical, spiritual place I've ever been. And I've tried restarting my life at times. And again, that's not discipline. It's a high level of motivation and a high drop. And there was a moment where I realized motivation and inspiration are limited, but when discipline is there, it's like a safety net. That's how I look at it, right? It's a safety net that I can fall back on because I've set up these things. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, because I still have my times where I'm looking to step away from something. And like you mentioned earlier, like I'm working to build that life that I don't want to escape from. That everything that I do is by nature disciplined, but it's because I like, it's part of my why. Just wanted to share that. It's an ongoing thing, and it's really easy to fall off. I was sober for 10 years and I fell off the wagon, and that was my biggest hurdle that I faced. I was hospitalized for 5 days at a behavioral health hospital because of the alcohol. That was a big why for me, but the bigger why was I overcame something and I want to share that story to others. So if I don't have my systems in place, I can't help other people. That's why I came back on today, because it was like, it's all about discipline, motivation. And when people tell me they're not motivated, I'm like, you're working off the wrong fuel. Like, same way, like I look at
Agreed.
carbs now versus like fat. Like I'm on ketosis now because of the fast. So I'm like, I rather fuel my body with fats than carbs now because it's better for my body. So that, just those little things, like all the little wins will add up. It could be the smallest thing, like making your bed in the morning. First thing foremost, that's like the biggest win you could have because it's the first win. High-fiving yourself in the mirror. If you guys know who Mel Robbins is, she's all about that discipline, right? So those little wins are how I got to these. I would not waking up at 5 a.m. I was usually up till 5 a.m. It's those little things that got me there. So if there's anything I was able to share, is start with something small. It could be the smallest thing, and then stack it, and then stack it, and the next thing you know, you got like 10 wins in a row. You're like, I'm not losing today. So just thought I'd share that.
Right.
Love it.
No, appreciate it. And I like that concept that you said, the systems, because it's often the systems that we're not paying attention to that get us into the bad habits, right? Raul was talking about, like, anytime he got something added to his plate, all of a sudden he caught himself like going to get a snack. And it's that's a subconscious system that you don't even know is running. And so replacing the subconscious system with a conscious system can literally be the difference between staying stuck in that subconscious and coming out of it into things that you're choosing to do because you know your why
Oh yeah, and
versus
the funny
not
thing is,
knowing your why.
most of the subconscious systems are detrimental one way to our health. Social media, television, unhealthy
Mm-hmm.
food. So if the way to overcome those things is if you can identify those things first. What am I doing throughout my day? I don't know if you guys know this, but there's no health system that says 3 meals a day are actually real good for you. The snack industry made that up, right? If you look at the way the body works, you really only need 1 meal a day as long as it has all the nutrients in it, right? So I'm on 1 meal a day and I do a 24-hour fast. I've been doing that for 3 weeks, like every day. And my energy level, my clarity, all of that is significantly heightened. And the moment I eat, my wife's, hey, what do you want for dinner? Eat with me. I'm like, talk to me more, because it's not one more piece of discipline except for my wife saying, hey, let's eat dinner together. But I'm like, look, already ate for today. And now I can say no to anything. And someone's, oh, you want a bag of chips? Nope. Sorry, I don't eat chips anymore. But yeah, it's those if we can identify and self-awareness, gratitude has also been really helpful. Just thanking the universe and for these benefits. It just makes me open my mind. If I'm thanking the universe for being able to get up, work out, and eat healthy, and then I look at that bag of Cheetos, I'm like, I'm not gonna be thankful for that. So I'm gonna stay thankful for that. But yes, subconscious systems
Yeah,
are bad.
gratitude is huge.
Were
Just
you gonna
gonna,
add something?
yeah, no, I was just gonna add because somebody mentioned systems, because one of the things for me, discipline can only come with discipline in other things in my life. I was going to go on to a different part of my business and work. Still work part time. I got my business, but our daughter was here and going between university and then moving to Australia for a year. So I knew that we would be not organized. So I gave myself 10 days that she was here. Plus, I'm not going to see her for a year. I gave myself time not to be as disciplined but then I set myself up when she left. I cleaned the house and then I went shopping and got all the good food. So I then could get off some of the treats that we had. And then, so have yourself ready to then, so you can be disciplined is a big thing for me, anyways. And I think for most people, because I think that's a good way to say, oh, I can't be disciplined. I can't be disciplined because my house is a mess. I can't be disciplined in my health and my wellness and my gratitude because I have to go. I don't have any food in the house. And my husband gets me on that all the time. He says, well, when was the last time you ate? Did you have an apple? Did you have, and I go, oh, I haven't eaten. I haven't eaten. And that's my thing. I'll go and then of course I'm starving. Your name, who was just speaking? The
Shrug.
gentleman?
Oh,
Sure.
Shira.
Shrug. Yeah. So you get what I'm talking about, right? I'm just so in on that. But I that caveat has to be there. Otherwise I just go, oh, I'm just going to go over and have a latte and a chocolate cake, which I still do on occasion by all means. But just having gone through that just recently. So then you set yourself up for motivation and discipline or
Yeah.
be
Because you
yeah.
were honest
Yeah.
with yourself. You recognize
Mhm.
like what was about to happen, and you're like, all right, bet. So we're gonna get through this part of whatever it is. My daughter's here. We're gonna have fun. I'm gonna have grace for the fact that I'm not gonna be
Mhm.
able to be my usual organized self. And then as soon as she's gone, we're back at it. That is so much more self-aware and is going to get you so much further on the discipline track than being like making excuses or
Yes.
coming up with reasons why you're not able to, or just like not being conscious of the choices that you're making. Yeah, exactly. Mindfulness. It makes such a difference knowing, oh, I know this is about to happen. I'm going to do the best while we're in this pocket of time. We're going to have or enjoy yourselves. I'm not going to beat myself up about anything. And then as soon as this period of time is over, we're back on track.
Yeah, it's also being in alignment too. And I think that's the important piece. I think actually that goes right into your next point, Monica, of the myth of all or nothing, because
Mhm.
that perfect example of prioritizing a loved one and like family. And sometimes I feel like people forget that life is meant to be lived. And we feel like the pressures of expectations and really you have to remember what your priorities are and what's important to you because that should be the priority. In that situation, you're having your daughter, exactly how you said that you're not even going to get to see her for a long time. Like those 10 days should have totally been all about you and her. That's what's important. But yeah, there's definitely a myth of it has to be all or nothing. And I
Yeah,
think that there's definitely seasons for everything, and just being in tune and aware of everything is important.
agreed. A lot of time people fail because of that all or nothing myth. They just give up on the whole concept. Oh, I'm just not able to do this. I'm not good at this, or my life is too busy, or whatever. Like they'll come up with all these reasons. That's that ego trying to keep you stuck and sane versus, no, I'm going to change one thing and then I'm not budging on this one little thing. And once you can accomplish that and you have enough evidence to be like, oh, wait, I haven't had whatever, or I have been doing whatever for this many days in a row. And even on the day that I missed, the next day, I didn't just say, oh, I missed a day and I guess I'm done. You just got back on the horse. Like that consistency is not perfection. It's continuing to do it, even on days where maybe you only did 5 minutes versus the 30 minutes, or whatever the small little win is that you can have where you're still mindful of what your goal was, of the North Star, your why, and moving towards that in some kind of way is a win. And you should celebrate that because it's not celebrating it is not going to get you closer to continuing that habit.
I feel like a lot of people do struggle with that feeling of, oh, I fucked up. I guess that's it. It made me think of Gracia, how she brought that up. Of, oh, if that was me, I would have gave up. I had a friend actually who I started the 21 day fix with. And so the first time I started it, I did it on my own. I failed. I was like, okay, let me get an accountability partner. And then we both failed together. And then I was like, okay, let's start over and we'll really do this for real. And I could tell she just wasn't in it. And I was like, okay, I just need to remove myself because I know I'm ready this time. And it's just not her time. And I think if going back to knowing where you're at and being able to assess what can I handle right now? Because yeah, sometimes we might just be putting too much on our plate and almost setting ourselves up for failure.
Agreed.
So yeah, figuring out exactly like what is it that you can commit to that you can increase over time? Because like you said, it's progress over perfection. But I think a lot of us have that perfectionism in us.
And it's a convenient excuse to not keep going. It wasn't perfect, so I couldn't launch it, or it wasn't perfect, so I just stopped. I didn't do 75 hard, so I'm never gonna do it again. Where it's you can literally live most of 75 hard every day and you just missed one thing. To be fair, the gracious situation, I honestly feel like I would have been on that boat. Been like, okay, so I messed up one day. Who cares? I'm gonna keep going. And because I'm gonna keep going, I might do 75, 150 or 150 hard because I was able to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, oh, let me start over, because there's that such like defeatist feeling of I just suck instead of not, I sucked today and tomorrow I'm going to do it again.
What's going to happen for Miss
Obviously, that's not the
Magnificent?
rules. So I'm no 70.
Oh, it's funny.
What's going to happen for Miss Magnificent and Magnificent is she's not going to drink Mountain Dew ever again after that 75 days is what I feel. I
I
had a pop.
wish she wouldn't drink 70. I wish the 75 hard could break you of the Mountain Dew habit.
I think it will. I think it will, right? Because they say usually it's a habit that forms after a certain amount of time. I gotta say,
Yeah.
I'm still stuck on this mood and decision thing because I'm trying to figure out what am I, because I struggle with this. So this topic was like big for me today, but I was like, so which one am I struggling with? Is it my mood
Mm.
because I tell myself I'm in the mood, or is it the decision that I tell myself I'm making the decision? So which one am I
Right.
really struggling with?
Have you seen the Layla Hermosi quote that's like, fuck your mood, follow the plan? That's like her tagline.
Oh, I should get that tatted.
Because that's literally what it is. Forget how you feel today. What's the plan? Was the plan
Interesting.
to do whatever it is that you're not supposed to be doing, or are you supposed to be going for a walk? Are you supposed to not be
Oh,
drinking? Can you swap out the alcohol for a water or whatever? Forget how you feel, because your
I like
feelings are
that.
going to change.
So forget the mood, stick to the decision. Okay, thank you. I think you helped answer that.
I
I'll
might
let
have
you know how that goes by next week.
I might have found a solution to my Mountain Dew. It's funny that this health drink shop opened up in my town that I moved to because I was like, I should just go through Madrid where they first opened up. It's a nutrition drink place where they make tea that doesn't taste like tea. That's like their slogan. And so I tried some drinks there, but they're a little spendy. But I'm like, you know what, though? If I just get a 32 ounce or like a big thing of it and just pour a little bit in my waters throughout the day to dilute it and just have a little bit of flavor. And I was like, if I could just do that and just replace that need for Mountain Dew. And every time I think of Mountain Dew, if I just drink that, I need to do that.
Yeah, replacing the habit is
Huge.
important.
That's what I did. I was just going to say, that's what I did. I actually stopped drinking soda also, but I replaced it with the prebiotic soda. The little Boppies
Mm.
or Olipop or whatever.
Yeah,
They
yeah, yeah,
don't
yeah.
taste, they're not a Pepsi or a Coke or a Sprite or whatever, but it does the job for the carbonation, for that little bit of that, just to kill that urge that you wanted. I just guzzle it and it does the job for me.
Yeah,
And they're
because
good for you.
it's that the
Supposedly.
carbonation or whatever it is that might be what you're looking
Maybe
for.
that could help after your 75 days.
Or during my 75 days because it is a healthy alternative because it is
Swap.
tea
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
functional stuff and vitamins. So yes, like she said, swap and just because I have to drink a gallon a day and those things are like $10 a 32 ounce. I can just put a little bit and make it last like a few days. But hey, it's better to pay a little more to be healthy than because that's what we all have to do is pay more to be healthy so that we avoid the doctor bills because that's spendy otherwise. So
Crazy how it works.
Choose your
investing
hard.
in ourselves, that's what investing in.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah, that's the next point is actually discipline protects your dream, like your why, whatever it is that you're going for. Being disciplined keeps that alive, keeps you like I honestly feel like that discipline like fuels the motivation. knowing you're able to consistently do it is going to give you motivation to keep going. And it's not the other way around.
Yeah, and like you said earlier too, that discipline, I feel like the connotation is almost punishment. And it's not punishment, it's the protection.
Mm-mm.
But yeah,
Yeah, it's
just
a
be
promise.
yes.
Like, I care enough about myself and this dream, this vision, this why enough to keep going. And I know there's a few men have joined us, but as women, we can be so sacrificial and ready to do whatever it is we got to do for the other person and ready to give whatever we can. And we have no problem just like consistently being there for others. And I feel like sometimes we have a really hard time doing that for ourselves. And it's like you literally deserve that same energy.
And to tie it to the last point is motivation follows action.
Yeah. That's kind of what we were just saying. Having that discipline can fuel that motivation,
And how it just feels
staying
good.
consistent.
Yeah, once you're in it. Nice.
Yeah. And then there's just some practical tools, having a habit tracker, something that can keep you accountable to yourself. And then what Sheila was saying, having a plan for the times where you're going to have to go off the rails. Like, even if it means for this period of time, I know I'm not going to be able to hit all the things that I want to hit, or I'm not going to be quite as energetic towards this goal as I normally would be, and having a standard for at least whatever it was. Like, if I wasn't able to walk my 4 miles today, I walked 2 miles, and that's better than no miles. So having some sort of a threshold.
I really like
Yeah.
the closing journal prompt you have, Monica.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to encourage everybody to, at some point during this week, answer that question. But it says, if I treated discipline as an act of love toward my future self, what would I do differently this week? And that's just a plug to
Sorry.
journaling. Oh, go ahead, Gracia.
No, I didn't know I was unmuted. I'm like, I was unmuted.
Good
Go ahead.
thing you didn't say anything crazy.
But yeah, just a plug for journaling because again and again, I really think that being in pen and paper and writing out your thoughts and like having something to put out there that you can reflect on later, like really it's a special thing to have and it helps you grow as a person. But yeah, so definitely
Agreed.
encourage you guys to do that. And then what's this challenge for the week?
You just got to pick one thing that you've been like, oh, when I get the motivation to do it, and replace it with a system, which is why I was so glad that we talked about systems for a little bit, because it really is setting yourself up for success, and having a system in place to help you stay disciplined is huge and adds to that accountability and commitment. And then share it in a group and then check in with your progress. So if you guys are in the Facebook group, if you wanted to pick something on today's topic and just keep it going in the comments of what's something that you're working towards or something that you're going to commit to yourself for this week, and then we can tap back into it on Tuesday and see where everybody is. I would love that. And then if you want to pick like an accountability partner, I know Kaylee and we did this 21-day stretch challenge, and every day we would literally just send ourselves a check mark. Like, we didn't have to tell each other anything. It was a check mark. And if we did it, and if we didn't get a check mark, we know we didn't do it. We'd have to start over. But we weren't like, unlike what you were talking about, Jackie, where you guys would start the thing at the same time. It didn't matter if she missed a day or something, we would just start over on our own. But just having that like back and forth helped so much, because it was like, oh, she sent me hers, let me do mine. And it would
Mhm.
just be this like little trigger of, or I haven't seen hers, I haven't sent her mine, I might as well stretch. And it would just be this like really healthy accountability that didn't take a lot of effort or explanation or excuses. It was either you sent a check mark or you didn't.
Yeah, I
Um,
like that.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I feel like we covered a lot today. It was definitely a good conversation. I know we have a couple of new people in here, so I just want to give anyone a chance to say anything else if they want to add anything. Gracia, I see you.
No, I just hate that we're talking about this on tax day, and I did not do. So maybe that's where I should
Me
start.
neither, but did you file an extension?
Yeah,
Okay.
You're
as
good.
but I also didn't do 2023. So when I say yeah with the big sighs,
Really?
because now I'm 2 years. So
I feel you.
But by next week, ask me again.
Hilarious.
Will do. Is that going to be your accountability thing?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I've been
I like that.
procrastinating, put them off. It's business books, which is not good. I've just been procrastinating it.
It's funny. Well, yeah, if you want to let them know about the meditation,
Yeah, so
Monica.
anyone who's new here, we end each call with a quick 10-minute meditation on the subject just to bring us all together and kind of allow everything to absorb and download. So if you're on camera, feel free to get yourself off camera if you want to be private. That's all good. And yeah, I welcome you guys to join us. It's just a quick little thing where we get together.
All right, cool. Let me get the music started.
Go ahead and get yourself in a comfortable seated position. And close your eyes. I'm going to take 3 deep breaths in with each inhale, making sure you fill your whole body with fresh air, fresh energy. And as you exhale slowly through your nose, releasing anything that no longer serves you, anything that's been holding you back from keeping your promise to yourself. With each inhale, filling your belly first, and then your chest, and then exhaling and emptying completely. Feeling your shoulders relax, your face relax. One more deep inhale. And deep exhale. As you continue to breathe, bring into focus something that you want to be more disciplined about. One area of your life that you want to make a promise to yourself. And as you think of this one item, this one area, explore why you want to change. Will it bring you closer to your health goals? Closer to your wealth goals? Will it bring you peace? Bring you joy? Will it make you feel stronger? How will you feel in a week when you've kept your promise? How will you feel in a month when you look back at all the times you were tempted And you look back at all the times that you almost gave up, but you kept going. You stayed on course. How will you feel? As you think about that accomplishment, you may notice yourself sit up a little taller, feel a little more confident, feel more like your higher self. Feel like you were worthy of keeping a promise to yourself. Each time you kept your promise, you showed yourself some love. You showed yourself that you care, that you matter, that you're worth it. Breathe into that feeling. With each breath, filling your body with the feeling of accomplishment, that feeling you did it. You're capable. You won the challenge. It may feel like one accomplishment, one goal, but if you look at it over time, over the course of a week, it may be 7 small wins. Over a month, 30. Over a year, 365 wins. You got this. Remind yourself anytime you are tempted, anytime you're hearing an excuse in your mind, you are worth it. Let's take 3 deep breaths, with each one repeating to ourselves, I am worth it. I am capable. I promise. We so appreciate each and every one of you being here with us tonight, taking the time out of your busy day to share your energy with us. The light in me sees and recognizes the light in each of you. Namaste. Feel free to wiggle your fingers and toes and slowly come back to the room. Maybe stretch a little bit.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Monica. That was great.
You're welcome.
Yep. Yeah, guys, we put the link for the Facebook group in the chat. If you're not a part of it already, feel free to check that out. We meet every Tuesday. We have our calendar that we do for the month, so you'll know the topics all ahead of time. Next week is waiting versus creating. Stop holding back on your goals. So that'll be a good one. So yeah, same Zoom link, same time, and I hope to see you guys next week.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
Awesome. Everyone have a great night.
You.